Hello friends, welcome to Coding Techniques again. Today I am going to teach you how you can design a reset password screen with the help of a model. So it's going to be a small one and you can capture all the information there. So let me just show you exactly what I'm going to build. So let's get started. So you can see the application is already running here and I'm using the Uber Eats application which we have already built in our previous lecture. If you don't know about it, you will get the link in the description. It's a big application, or you can take a fresh application also. That's not a problem. So I'm taking this because the design is already been built up and we can see everything pretty nicely. Now I'll just change the design here because I want a bigger screen to look into. Now here I will work with the model. So I'm going to use the ion model. Let's get to the login screen. Where is it? So it's in the auth screens one. I'll get there and go to this HTML where I'm going to simply work with the ion model. So within the ion content only I need to work with that. So ion model, okay, that's how I'm going to have. Now to this particular ion model, I'm going to give some attributes. Let me just paste it directly. So these are the attributes that I'm going to pass to this ion model. Let me align it properly at first. Now I have given an identifier which I named it as forget password model. And I've given a trigger of forget password and a CSS class also of inline model, which is basically for the border radius I'm going to use. If you don't want, definitely you can remove that. Then on ion model dismiss, what am I going to do? I'm going to call this reset function. And then the breakpoints and initial breakpoints I have given. Now there is an error here because I need to work with this reset function. Let me just get there, and in the TypeScript one, I'll just have this function in this manner. Okay, let me pass event here. So the error will go away, and when it will get triggered, when I click on the forget password one. So where is the forget password one we have here? Well, I think the forget password is a part of app sign in component. So do I need to pass it there? Well, so I'm going to cut this particular one from here and let me have it in the component one. Scroll towards the bottom. Okay, not here, in the HTML. Let's scroll towards the bottom. Let's try this. If it doesn't work, then we will get back to the auth screen and I will show you another way of working with that. I'll cut this and let me just paste it here in this manner. Alright, the error is gone. Now, in order to trigger this up, what am I going to do? I'll go to the forget password one. This is the one. To the ion text, I'm going to give an ID forget password because it should be same as the trigger value that I've given here. Now, if I click on it, let's see what happens. If I click here, you can see something is coming up. That's great. Actually, it is working. So I'll keep it as it is. Now, what am I going to do? I'll get back to the sign in TypeScript one, not exactly TypeScript, in the HTML only. Within this ion model, what exactly I'm going to work? Let me just show you. Well, I'm going to use an ng template, okay, and within the ng template only we need to work with the design, but I'm going to use another component in order to work with that, which I'll name it as reset password one. So let me create that quickly. All right, Ionic G component, and I'm going to have that component within the auth screens. Inside that I'll just create not forgot, it should be reset password. Okay, all right, it is created. And where is it? Okay, within the auth screen it is created. I need to pass it within the auth screens, I think. Yes, within the auth screens actually. So let me just move it. Let me minimize it up and I will move it inside the auth screen one. Move it. Once I do that up, I'll get an error inside the, not actually, I won't get any error, I think, because this is just a component. It is not having any route. Okay, so there won't be any problem. All right, this is ready to go. Now what am I going to do in this particular one? I'm going to design it up. So I'll just remove everything. Let's design it up as per our requirement. So here I'm going to have an ion header, and within that I'm going to pass the title and everything, because if you don't do that up, definitely the content will also scroll. Let me just show you, then only you will understand. Let's do one thing. I'll just remove it and I'll work with the ion content. Okay, ion content, I'll give full screen to be SCREEN to be true. Don't worry about the error, I'll fix it right now. So in order to fix that up, I'll go to the TypeScript one. This is a standalone one, but it is not coming up. Why? Not to worry, I'll make it standalone. I think I have to give dash dash, then dash dash standalone, then only it's going to work maybe. Let me make it standalone to be true, and I'll pass the imports in this manner where I'll pass Ionic module, and I also need the common module to work with. Okay, once that is done, no error will be there. Okay, full screen is this particular one, s should be small. Now you can suggestion is coming up, that's great. Now inside the ion content, I'll make a form, and in order to use the form, I need to have here the forms module to work with. Forms module imported, fine. So on submit function also I need to create here. On submit, what am I going to do when I'm submitting the form? Form from ng form. Okay, once that is done, we are good to go with the design part. We can work with that now. So I'll make an ion list within this, and I'm going to work everything within that. So I'll just have some margin towards the top, and lines will be none. I don't want any lines within that. Now within this ion list, I'm going to have an ion list header. So let me just pause this functionality. This is the design which I'm going to have, where I have an ion label. Now this is the function which I'm going to call, where I'll pass the title, and I will also have a subtitle that we can pass. So let's work with that in our TypeScript, then only you will understand. Now I'll create a function called getData. Okay, let's work with it. Now in order to work with that, let me have a property here, which I'll name it as model, that will be equals to an empty object which will be of type any. Okay, let me just close it. Now it's fine. So here, what am I exactly going to do? Let me just show you one by one. Let me empty the data that I'm creating here. So this will be an object that I will be having, and I'll keep all the stuff here only. Now I'll simply check if this dot model question mark dot email. Okay, so I'm at first going to check for the email. That is what we are passing here. So if you forget the password, you need to type your email, and if it equals to an empty string, that means no value is being passed, then what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to initialize the data with this particular stuff, forgot password. Enter your email for the verification process. You will send a verification code to your email. So that's what you can do, and the OTP will be sent. Okay, then this dot OTP, well, if you want the OTP one, definitely you can do this about, you can directly go for the reset password, but I'll show you the OTP one. So I need to make here OTP, okay, of type string, and a flag I will have which will be of type number. Okay, now I'm setting flag to be 1 whenever I'm entering when email is empty. Okay, and if you are working with the OTP one, I can check another condition that OTP is also empty, just to be on the safe side. So when you have both this empty, then only you are going to enter this up. Otherwise, what I'll do, else if, I'll check what is the next condition. If email exists but OTP is empty, then what will happen? Let me just pass it here. Email not equals to an empty string, but the OTP is empty. Then what data am I going to have? Well, in that case, my data will be this particular one, where I'll have the title, verify your email, then the subtitle will be enter the verification code to your email, then I will have a button name as verified. So button, don't worry, I'll just have it. First of all, I'm just having these two things. Okay, button also I'll change the name there, and I'll design it up, don't need to worry about it. So, and the flag will be initialized to 2. Now what am I doing actually? I'm making a hierarchy. Well, first of all, we'll have the email one. So email form will be there. Once you type the email and you go ahead, then the OTP screen will come up, and after you type the OTP one, then we will jump to the reset password one. Now OTP one, let me just remove it. I think it would be better if we work directly with the password one. So new password, let me skip that, because otherwise I have to show you the OTP screen also, but I don't want to do that right now. So I'll just have new password, and here I'll simply pass verify. Please enter your email for the verification process, and I'll just remove this text from here. Okay, I don't want that. Now I'll also remove this OTP one. I don't want the OTP one. If you want, I have shown you the process. Well, you can simply have that. Here also I'm going to check for the new password. Okay, or in fact I don't need to check for this condition also, because there will be hardly any other condition. So I just need to pass simply else. Okay, so if the email is empty, then this will come up. Otherwise we will directly enter the second one, where the data will be different, where we are going to have this particular data, where I'm going to reset the password and type the new password. That's it, and save it. Okay, hope it's clear. This is what I'm going to have in the get data. So whenever you're calling the get data, that's how it is going to work. Let's check it out. Now get data question mark dot title. Why it is giving me an error? Now this is giving me an error because of the model one. Basically, let me just show you. In the reset password ts file, well, I'm passing this model, but the value I'm not passing, so it should be taken from the input one, right? Whenever you type something. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to initialize it to this particular one. Okay, I'll remove the OTP one. So now we have a model where this value is being given, and based on that everything will be triggered. Now let's check it out. So still the error is coming up because we need to return something for this functionality, right? That is why it is giving us the error. So after the else, I will simply return the data. That's what I'm going to do. And you see the error is gone. So if you just click on this forgot password, you will see nothing. Okay, nothing is coming up right now. So in order to show this design, what I need to do, I need to go to the sign in one. And in the sign in, let me just get to the HTML. And in the HTML, I need to pass app reset password, then only it's going to work. Okay, now within this, well, in the ts file, I need to import it here. So I'll import the reset password component. Once I do that up, I can simply use it here. Okay, all right, now if you click here, let's see what comes up. If you click here, see the design is coming up. That's how it is working. And let's get back to the design of the reset password, where after this ion list header, I'm going to work with the form, actually the ion input. And let me just paste the code. So this will be my ion item group, where I have just given some designing ion padding horizontal, and if flag equals to 1, then this will be called. If flag equals to 2, then this one will be called for the forget password. Now in the latest version, well, we have to pass label to be an empty one if we need to work with it. Okay, with empty label will give you warnings. So this is the thing that you need to do, because we are not using the label here anymore. All right, so now let's check the design. Why it is breaking? Okay, there are two ion lists. Let me close one. Now it is fine. Let's check it out. If I click here, okay, the email one is coming up. That's great. That's fine. Now what am I going to do? If you don't want this design, okay, let me change the design also. So I need this particular ion item. That's pretty okay, but let me have some label here. Let me call it email, or in caps I will call it email. Then label placement, I will have floating one, and I will have a fill of outline. Let's see how it shows up. And the mode will be MD, because it works only in the Android one. The design that I'm going to show you right now, let me just show you. This is the design. Just look at that. Now it is moving towards the top, right? That means I want to show this stuff, but I won't be able to show it unless I click somewhere else. Then it should come up. No, it is not coming up now. So in order to resolve this problem, what I'm going to do, I'll just cut this ion list header from here, or in fact the whole stuff I'll copy it up and comment this particular one. Remove this margin top, because I'll give it in the ion header now. So I'll use ion header and header, and let me have this functionality there. I need an ion list. Fine, done. Okay, that's great. Now if I just click here, you will see that even if I click here, still it is there. It is not disappearing or moving towards the top. That's how you can work around with this. Okay, hope it's clear. All right, so what you can do now is, well, this icon, well, I'll keep it as it is. I think that will be better. Or should I remove it? Removing it also fine. I don't want that. Now what else do I need here? Let me just check it out. Well, I'll simply have a button now after the ion list. So after the ion list, I'll have this particular button, to which I'll give a color of primary. To the text one, no, color primary won't suit. So let me just remove this. Let it have its own color. and I'm calling the get data again to get the button text whatever we are going to pass. So this is the whole stuff that I need. Now let's check it out. Then we will design it up. So this is the design that is coming up. It's not bad actually. I'm liking it, but still we can do a lot more with that in this CSS. So let's go in this SCSS and work with it. So I'm going to work with the iron button at first. So I'm going to give this particular design to the iron button. Let's check it out how it looks now, because I've given some margin. Now it is better. We have some margin here and there, and the text size is also getting smaller, which is actually lovely. Now after doing that, I'll work with the other stuff one by one. So other things are available within an iron list, in fact in the header one also and at the bottom too. So this is the design which I'm going to have for both of them in order to work with that, where I'm passing for the iron list header this particular design, the font weight, font size, letter spacing, and for the p tag I'm passing margin top and some font size also. And for the iron item I'm giving a border. Well, border is not needed. I'll just remove it. I think that will be better, because giving the border will ruin my design, isn't it? So I'm just going to work with the border radius for the iron input one. So let me just pass it iron input border radius, and border I'll remove it. Let's check it out now. What it shows. All right. So the border radius is not working or what? Let me go to the HTML and check it out for the iron item. Iron margin is given. Okay, fine. It is taking margin from all ends. What am I going to do? Iron margin vertical I'm going to pass. Then I will have some spacing at the left and right side. Let's check it out now. Okay, still it is the same. I need to remove this particular placeholder, but okay, I'm giving it in the password one. I need to give it at the top, which is out here. Let me pass it, and I'm going to remove the placeholder. Where is it? This is the one. Let me remove it. It's gonna be fine, I think. Let's try it. Okay, this is getting bigger and much better, I would say. And in fact, what I can do is I can get this iron input outside of the iron item. I think that would be better if I do that up. Let's see how it works. Let me remove it. I'll just cut this. Let's see now what the design shows. Alright, so iron padding horizontal, and what if I have iron margin also along with that? Let's see now. So now I think the design is fine, isn't it? Better than earlier one. So you can simply pass the value here, isn't it? That's great. Now if you want to give the border radius, still you can work with that. Let me try with the iron. Let me give dash dash. I think then it might work. Let's try it. Now it is working. So dash dash works. So this is looking lovely now. Hope it's clear to you. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to apply the same stuff in my password one also, where I'm going to give the label to be password. In the caps one it would be better. Comment this icon one. I don't want any icon. And in fact this iron margin, I'll pass it to the iron item group here only, and comment this iron item. Alright, what else I need to do? I need to pass the label placement. So label placement will be floating. Once that is done, I'll fill it to be having the outline design once again, and other things will remain same as it is. So now if I click to forget password, I'm getting the screen. If I type, say like in my case any email, you can see this button is coming up, and if I click here, then what I need to do, well actually I'm not doing anything, but mostly what I need to do is I need to update my model here. So I'll just go to the TypeScript file, and when I'm clicking there, so what is in the form, I need to check it up. So form, I'll just log it, form.value, okay, and then this dot model will be equals to form.value. That's what I'm going to have. All right, or in fact I can give here form this dot model. I'll cut this and make it an object where I'm going to pass email to be having the value of form.value.email. If it does not exist, then an empty string. And same to the password, new password also, new password will also have form.value.new password or an empty string here also. Fine. So that is what I'm going to have. Now it's going to change. Let's try this up. So I'll just click here once again. The design is coming up. Let me type the email ID and try the verification one. You can see the design has changed. So it is working, right? Now this password will come up, but there is slight issue because the design I have given here, I didn't give mode to be MD. That is why the design is not coming up properly in the reset password one. Now it will come up. Let's try it once again. Email is coming up. Okay, hit the verify button. Now the password is coming up. You can simply type a password in this manner and you're good to go ahead. Now this is getting hidden because you are using this ion input. Well, there is hardly some margin there. Okay, that is why. If you give some more margin, let me just check it by going to the SCSS, and I'll give some margin to this particular one. Margin top to be, let's say, 2VH. Let's try it out. Let's try it once again. If I just click here, still I need more margin. Let me give 4VH, but I think it is not applied. Maybe, yeah, it is applied actually, but still it is moving towards the top. And at the top we have ion header. Let me do one thing. In the ion header, I won't have any border at first, so ion no border. If you are having some border, so I've just removed that because it is hitting this particular list. That is why the design is getting away. And let's check it out once again because this is within the form, right? All right, let's try it again. So it is getting hidden, but little bit, not much. So I think that would be fine to work with. I think that would work. Okay, otherwise you can give some margin. Top class equals to ion margin top to this particular list instead of doing it something here. Let me remove it. Let's try it once again whether it works or not. All right, it is not working at all. So let me just remove that also and have the earlier one only. That was better actually. Let's try it once again. So I think giving some margin was better. So let's have the margin once again. Let me give 5VH this time. Let's try it for the last time. Okay, still it is getting hidden. All right, I'll not give any margin now then. I'm happy without the margin. So it is working as expected. I hope you have understood how exactly we are working. Don't worry about this stuff. If you don't want to give this design, definitely you can give the fill to be solid one. That's what you can work with, or without giving this design also you can work with the earlier design with the icon one. That could have been better. So with this, I'll wrap up this lecture here. I hope you like this particular video. So if you like this video, do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.